my name is Patrick from CADconverters, and in this video I'm going to run through the user interface when working within the project environment for Autodesk Revit. So this is the project area there. So if I was to open up the project, I could go to Open, New, select a template which is basically blank, will have anything in it, or I can open up a previous project that I've worked on. So these that you can see here are sample files that come with Autodesk Revit. Now if you're wondering where they actually are, they are in the big R or Applications menu in Open, and then you see sample files there. So if you click on that, you can see you've got various different sort of sample files there. Now I don't know if you can see, but you can see at the end of some of these you've got what's described as a .rvt, and that's a project file in Autodesk Revit, and you've got a .rfa, which is a family file with Autodesk Revit. So we're going to be opening up the .rvts in this video. So I'm just going to cancel that and then open up this project. So when it first opens, you can see obviously there's all sorts going on the screen now. So I'm just going to start working my way around it. So on the left hand side on mine screen, you can see that we've got properties. Now this just basically gives feedback on the properties of the thing that you've clicked on. So at the moment, because I haven't clicked on anything, it's referring to the 3D view, and this is the properties of the 3D view. So you can see you've got things like scale, level of detail, the template that you're using, various different sort of information there. If I was to click on a tree, let's say that's a tree, you can see it changes and it tells me properties about that tree. So its category is its planting, it's on a certain level, it's offset by 50 millimeters, and it's on construction. If I was to click on the big green area, it tells me that it's topograph, its material, its area, its surface area. So the properties change depending on what you clicked on. If you click into a blank space, it resets it back. So you can see that's properties. You will use that every single day, every single moment that you're using Autodesk Revit. So you'll get used to that one. Above that, you can see what they describe as the ribbon. So this is sort of Autodesk speak for what used to be toolbars. So I don't know if you can think of Word and things like that back in the olden days, or in the early days where it was all little icons and toolbars that you could drag around. Well, that's obviously sort of moved on now, and what you've got is the ribbon. And the way it works is really simple. There's sort of 3 steps to it. You've got the tab. So you can see that's the architecture tab, that's the systems tab, that's annotate tab, massing and site tab, view tab. They're all the tabs across the top. So if I was to go to Revit architecture tab, below that tab are panels. By panels I mean that's the build panel, and you can tell that because there's a line there and a line there. So that's the build panel. So that would be the circulation panel, model panel, room and area panel, so on and so on as you go down. Within them panels then are the icons. So you can see you've got the door icon. If you went to circulation, you'd have the ramp icon. That's essentially the 3 stages to the ribbon. So if I went to the annotate tab, to the text panel, and selected text, the ribbon would change, and then all the tools available for drawing, adding in text would be there. To come out of that, you can use good old escape like you could in AutoCAD for anyone who's used that, or you can select modify. So if I go back to the architecture tab and then went to wall, you can see on this icon it's broken up into 2 areas. So you've got wall, and below that you've got wall with a little triangle. Now clicking that basically just means there's additional tools underneath that icon. So you can see there's sweeps, wall by face, so on and so on and so on. And then some of the icons won't have it. So window and door haven't got a triangle underneath, but column has. And that is essentially the ribbon. It takes a bit of getting used to, and you spend most of your first part of learning to use Revit trying to find where everything is. And it can get a bit frustrating, but Revit's really good in that respect, I find, because when you do click on an icon, it does only leave the tools available for the icon you've selected. So by that I mean if I went to wall and clicked on wall, the ribbon changes, and you see it goes like this green in the background. they call that the contextual tab. So that's changed that tab, and that tab appears there. That's that green one. So we had all these tabs before. When I've selected wall, that tab's appeared, the place wall tab. And then all the tools that I need to draw or model a wall are there. That's essentially how the ribbon works. And as you go through, and again in subsequent videos we'll go into more in depth, about what each tool does. But that is the ribbon. So that's, I find, once you get your head around it, really, really useful. All these sort of pop-ups you see are the tool tips that I set to high in the previous video. So I can see there that it says window. I'm not going to move the mouse. It says window. You've got in brackets WN. Now that's the short key. So if you were to type that on the keyboard, WN, which I'll do now, you go straight into placing a window. I'm going to press escape to come out of that command, or you can select modify, which is MD. So in window, you can see brackets tells you it's short key. It says add windows to the building model, and then just gives you a little preview of what that does. Now some of the tool tips will give you a little bit more. Let's see if I can find one with the video. Ceilings. So you can see that tool tip will add in a little video showing you how to add a ceiling in, and give you some text explaining what the function's doing. So I find that really, really useful. While we're actually on that subject as well, you can see at the very bottom it says press F1 for more help. So if I was to press F1, you can see the tooltip has led me to, in the help files, ceilings, and I'll get all the additional information about the ceilings. So F1 will become a very, very important button to you, I suggest. So remember that one. So that's the ribbon. At the top you've got the QTA, or quick access toolbar. So all of there now, you can see you've got various different tools for different things, but the tools that you may use the most, rather than go through the ribbon, you put at the top for quick access. That's what it means. Then on the right hand side you see you've got the info bar, Now here, this is basically where you can get into your subscriptions, and there's one that's quite useful, I suppose, for apps. So if I click on that, this will then take me to the App Store, and you can have various different apps and do all that sort of great stuff with it. But you have to pay for some of them. Some of them are free, some of them you pay for. So that's the info toolbar. Down on the right hand side you see you've got a project browser, where now essentially all this is where all the views within your model are stored. So you can see it's sort of a structure to it. In the basic one is you've got floor plans, ceiling plans, 3D views, some elevations, so on and so on and so on as you go down. And then it goes in a level, and you can see you've got various different levels. Now at the moment you can see you've got the 3D view. There's solid there, it's black. So that's the view that you're in at the moment. If I was to click 01 entry level, it changes to that view. You can see if I click off, it's bold. So that should always tell you the view that you're physically in. So to close that view, so basically now I've got two views open. I'm just going to click that, and you can see you've got two views open at the moment. It's the 3D view that never closed down, and that's important to remember. When you click on a view, it always stays open. So to close a view, you can click on it there, and then double click that and expand it. You're back to your view. Further down the browser, you can see you've got areas for your legends, you've got some schedules, you've got some sheets. So this is where your drawings would live. As you can see, there's a border and there's a view on a piece of paper, if you like. You've got families, so this is where all your families would live. And anyone coming from AutoCAD could think along the lines of, this is where all your blocks are stored, which may help you sort of get that concept. And then you've got groups. These are just groups of elements that move as one object. And then you've got Revit links. So anyone, again, used to AutoCAD would sort of understand that to be a bit more like X-Refing. So I'm just going to close that view. Takes me back to the 3D view. Down here, you've got various different selection tools. So if you have got, let's say, an object in that's been pinned. By pinned, it means it can't move. That'll let you select it or not select it. So in future videos and with more experience you'll find that you have them turned on and off as you need them, but they're quite useful tools. Down here you see you've got what's used for design options. So the easiest way to explain that would be if you've got a room layout with some furniture in and the customer wants it in a certain way and you think you can do it in a better way, you can produce the same two layouts within the same model, and you can produce two drawings from them layouts all within the model. So you can basically set the view to that option A or option B. It's a really useful tool. This one down here is set for work sharing, so when the model is split and multiple people are working on the project at the same time, you can see who's working on the project, etc., etc. That again is a really useful tool, and in future videos or more advanced concepts we'll get into that. So down here you see you've got your scale, so you can set the view to a scale. You've got detail, so you can set the detail object, to 3 levels: coarse, medium and fine, and again we'll get into that in later videos. You've got your visual styles, so you can go realistic. Just let that quickly go through. So this is what it will look like in realistic terms as soon as it's done it. And if you see them trees have changed, if I zoom in a touch, so you can set them to various different ones. Because of the crunching power of my graphics card, I tend to have that set to sort of black and white, to be honest. Then you've got other tools for some path, shadows. Again, we'll run through them in sort of various videos. And that is essentially it. Just click there. And then the final bit of this video is this area here. So this is what you could call the model space. It is the model space. This is where, again, you'll spend most of your time working. This is where all your stuff's done. So I hope that sort of explained briefly about the ribbon and gives you sort of a better feel for how it all comes together. But like I said before, if you press F1 on the keyboard, expand that, all of it's explained in there. So you can see you've got search by, or you can go to getting started and then work your way through them. That'll give you a really good feel for what Revit's all about. So I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. See ya.